What's up guys, Jesse here. In today's video, I want to go over a major lie that we are told, that we've kind of accepted, and willpower. So in terms of willpower, it is a finite resource. This has been heavily studied. And what I mean by that is you have a lot of it. It's just like endurance. You have a great deal of it at the beginning of the day when you have a lot of energy. Like one little factoid is that our mind is just a part of the brain, but we're not going to go into that right now. Our brains use 1/5 of our energy, 20%, just to think. That's a lot of energy. Another interesting thing is that you can conserve 50% of your energy by closing your eyes. But anyway, I digress. Willpower is a finite resource. So, in what I'm talking about here, get the most important thing that you need to get done early on in the day, and this is actually going to be kind of funny because the thing I'm about to talk about, it doesn't happen at the beginning of the day. But anyway, so that leads me to my next point, and that is that in the world of accomplishment, all things are equal, and that is just that's not the case. There is always one thing that is the most important, and when you accomplish that one thing, it kind of makes all other things irrelevant. Interesting story. Tim Ferriss told this at a conference where he said, people are always asking me what my morning routine is. If you guys aren't familiar with Tim Ferriss, he's like one of the most successful angel investors. He was like the first person, he's the reason that we have Uber. I think Uber, it's either Uber or Lyft, like just stuff like that. He wrote The 4-Hour Workweek, The 4-Hour Body, The 4-Hour Chef. Yeah, just super smart guy. He learned this technique, and that is, he goes like, I'm so hesitant to allow people to come and film my morning routine because I don't do anything. I wake up whenever I want to. I make some tea, or I make coffee. I go for a walk. I meditate. There's nothing like majorly to it. And he was like, the reason is I'm trying to figure out the one domino that knocks over all the other dominoes and makes them irrelevant, essentially. The one domino that makes all the other dominoes irrelevant. So focusing his attention in on the one thing that changes the whole game. Now that brings home my point of all things are not equal. And like in my case, I went from being a fairly skinny person to a much doughier, like 40 pounds heavier, to back to being skinny again. Once I was skinny again, I wanted to build muscle mass. So there's a lot of key components when you're trying to build muscle mass. you got to eat the right amount of food every day. You got to have, within that food, you need your right amount of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. You need to go to the gym. You need to do things to actively build muscle. And I was doing this for months, spending so much time and effort trying to do it, not really gaining ground, actually continuously backsliding further and further. And I figured out my one thing that I wasn't doing, and that was recovery. And I've been making a bunch of videos around sleep, and this is where that kind of hits home for me. I was spending so much money on supplements and proteins and grass-fed beef and all this food every day, all this organic food, because I am madly in love with health and nutrition, and so I'm not going to do this in a dirty way. It's all clean food. So massive amounts of broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, all organic ingredients for everything. And now I'm on a plant-based diet, but that really has nothing to do with it. It all comes down to fulfilling your macros, which I was doing every day, way over the top, and yet I was still losing weight. And it finally dawned on me. I had this great epiphany that I was exhausted all the time because I slept maybe 6 hours a night. And that is when all of your cellular repair happens, all of your recovery happens, all of your muscle building happens. So by not focusing on the most important thing, which was recovery, yes, annihilating your muscles is important, tearing them, breaking them down, but the rebuilding process is when you get all your gains. I wasn't focusing on any of that. I was totally, completely, and utterly focused on tearing down. So I changed my focus to not be so, let me destroy myself, but instead to let me get the right amount of sleep and deeper sleep, better quality. What can I do? How can I focus in on my sleep? And as soon as I did that, it's when my scale started rising. My achievements started going up in a very measurable, incremental way, right before my very eyes. And so, yeah, the point of this is that the lie that we're told is that all things are equal when they're very much not. And that willpower is a finite resource. And so, my point being for you, if you're trying to change something, if you want to achieve something, and you're not getting it, focus on what the one thing is that's going to get you the achievement that you're after. Focus solely on it, and let all other things be completely secondary, and do it the very first part of your day, because the longer your day goes on, the less energy you have, the less mind and willpower that you have, the less chance you're going to get it. And the more chance you are to be distracted, and it's easy enough for us to be distracted. We sit with our phone in one hand while we're talking to someone else. It's just a part of the world that we live in. So zero your focus in on the one thing that's what you're missing, and do it at the very beginning of your day. And once it is done, the accomplishment, the sense of accomplishment that you're going to feel is just awesome. It's overwhelming. It means that you accomplished the thing that you wanted to do with your day. So I hope you found this video helpful. Give me a like, subscribe. As always, it is not based around my ego. It is based around my ability to help others. And you guys letting me know what kind of content I'm putting out. If it is helpful, then let me know. And I will do more of that. So yeah, thanks for watching.